Family, welcome to DOREEN'S African Experiences. It's been a minute. So today I'm going to teach you types of land, the different types of land we have in Uganda and how to go about purchasing them. I've been having too many land conversations in the time that I've been I told you I'm working on my camera, so if you don't see me much, don't worry. I'm going to be back next week, latest. I'm trying to upgrade certain things. It's a good thing. Now, without wasting time, I'll get into this video. I don't know, I think I'm answering too many of these questions privately. I think it's best if I share the knowledge publicly, so that you all know what types of land actually exist in this country. First and foremost, we have what you normally call Kabaka land. Now, Kabaka land is actually Bikuwa visomese. Now, so some of you, when you hear Kabaka land, these are the different names they give to Kabaka land, because it's not just one name. Basically, there are just 4 types of land we have in Uganda, 4 types, but they have different names. They have many, many names. Kabaka land can also be called the Crown land. It can also be called the Milo land. It can also be called Chibanja land. Yes. So if you have your Chibanja, chances are high you have Kabaka land. Now, for those of you, now we have the private Milo land, and then we have our, the Crown land. Take up. So the difference is not so much. You see, the private Kabaka land, the private Milo land, and then Kabaka land, like I told you, Kabaka land has many names. It's not different. The difference is during the 1900 Uganda agreement, when they were giving out this land. Now, remember, Uganda was colonized by the British. So when, after the colonial times were coming to an end, these people rewarded, or even during the process, they rewarded their allies. These were the colonialists. They rewarded their allies. Imagine someone coming to your country and then confiscating all the land, and then later they act like they're thanking you by giving you back your own land. That's what happened anyway. So that's where we're at. So now some people, the Kabaka, the Buganda kingdom, different kingdoms are given land actually. Different kingdoms actually own land, because in Uganda, every tribe had a king until the kings were kind of abolished by the first Obote. But then again, some were restored and some really never came back. But those that were restored, anyway, this is useless. Let's just go back to the land. So the Buganda kingdom was given land, huge pieces of land in its own kingdom, as a thank you for collaborating during the colonial days. Now, this is what they call the Crown land, or the Kabaka land, or Chibanja land. And this land cannot be owned by anybody. If you buy Kabaka land, you are supposed to pay Busunju, like a tax. It's really small. I think it's like 200 shillings. But to this day, you have to pay that tax. If you go and buy Kabaka land from anyone, get the agreement, then ask them for 2 copies of their photos, go to the Buganda Land Board, and then take the agreement or something, because every land has a map. So make sure you have a map of the land, or the person selling to you has a map of that land, because in Buganda Land Board, they have maps of all the land they own. And then after, when you go there, they will change the names from there. Yes, they'll change the names from that person to you. Don't just take the land agreement that you've been given. Simanya, this one was here. Well, it's not enough. You have to go to the Buganda Land Board to be recognized as the current owner of that land. Take the photos of the previous owner and then take your photos as well so that they recognize you as the current owner. And then you have to pay tax. It's really small. You can decide to pay per year. Hi Norman, yeah, it's actually good to be. I've been lost. I've been going through some crazy stuff, but I'm okay now. That is the Buganda land, or the Kabaka land, or the Crown land, or Chibanja. You just buy your Chibanja and keep quiet with your agreement. Normally, if someone decided to take you out, they can take you out because you've not recognized yourself legally with the people responsible for that land as the rightful owner. So there in the system, they have someone else that owns that land. Make sure you go and confirm that you are the rightful owner of that land. Okay? Now that is Kabaka land. Now the private Milo land, during the Buganda agreement, now they gave the Kabaka land, they also gave some institutes like the churches, mosques. Then they also gave some people. For example, if your family was prominent back in the day, they were given land. Yes. So that land is private, but it's also Milo. Like it's public, or it's public land, but it's yours. So, but that's, how do I put it? That land, for it can be titled, but a lease title, a leasehold title. I don't know if I'm making sense. It is all Kabaka land, all Milo land, but the difference is this land was not given to the Kabaka. It was given directly to people who collaborated with the colonialists. For example, if your family was, maybe when the white people were being chased, they provided some kind of help, and then they made promises, and the time came and they delivered, your family was given land. But now there is another type of land that we are going to discuss after this. It's different, but it's similar in a way. This land also cannot be titled. You can't have a title unless you can have what they call freehold titles, but they're not really titles. Really, this is all just affirmation that you own this land, but no one can take it away from you. It's safe to have. But anyway, so that is the private Milo land, and then the Kabaka land. How are you? Well done. So private Milo land was that land that was given to institutes like the churches, mosques, any people that represented any kind of. Mbadde njagala genda ku diet. Nja kujja tudiscussing ebyokulya byange. Sikyayagala kulya nnyo bintu bimu. Wanje mukama abaddemu naye agenze. Ngenda wenva wano nja kukubira ogende Jack akuweyo enkumi nnya. Naye kansooke mmalirize. Wanje mukama mbadde busy. Njali enkyo. Hi Africa. No, it's nice to have you here, but guys, let's focus. This is very important because a lot of you are asking me these questions, and I think you should use this video as reference to educate yourself on these things before you start buying them. Now, not all of central Uganda is Kabaka land or private Milo land. Not all of it. It is possible to get that no. You can never get Kabaka's land titled, but you can get private Milo land titled. I'll explain to you how. By the way, it's supposed to be very cheap, but the process is so long. Anyway, we finished the private Milo land. It falls into the same category with Kabaka land. So we're going to move on to freehold land. Now, freehold land, this is land that probably colonialists never touched, whereby people will tell you for generations and generations, this land we have like a document that shows that this land has been ours, because the people initially back in the day, the prominent families owned land and they had documents to show. Yeah, if my family has a lot of land, so I've seen some of those titles, the old titles, the way they used to look. So those people now, for them, they can sell to you land. When they sell to you land, they simply transfer that title into your names. They make for you a new title, and then it's in your names. You have to make sure it's changed both at the land board. Now the land board, Buganda Land Board, is different from the land board. The land board I'm talking about is the one that is under the lands, the Ministry of Lands. So now that's the one that is concerned with freehold land. So you have to make sure you employ a surveyor to survey your land. Hi, Winnie. Once the surveyor surveys your land, the surveyor's job is to also map that land out, tell you where your boundaries are. After mapping your boundaries, the surveyor is supposed to go to the land board to confirm if this land is indeed available for sale, or to confirm the current owners of the land, to confirm if indeed those are the owners of the land. This is also the job of a surveyor. Then after that, the surveyor is supposed to document a report, what they call a survey report for you, so that you have it. So make sure you're available when your land is being surveyed. Yes, so that they tell you where your true boundaries are. Sometimes someone can be selling to you 100 by 100 when indeed the land is not 100 by 100. Then this is where your surveyor is supposed to help you. Then the other thing is, once the land has been mapped out, the surveyor will tell you that this land should not have a road here, or it should have a road here. Oh, Kongs Africano, you are going to have mosquitoes and a nice view. I feel like land next to the beach or the lake is overrated, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful if you take measurement, if you take precautions. It's very expensive, but it has its own issues. The nights are very cold, but it's good. It's good land. I hope I didn't make you feel any type of way. Congratulations. An achievement is an achievement, and I respect that. I should be coming to Rwanda next year for some work. I have very big plans. Now, let's go back to our freehold. And so freehold land really is this titled land, Chapa Mongalo, that's the freehold land. It's a bit more expensive. And to transfer that title, these days the government has a law whereby if you're buying land that's about how many million, 8, 10, you have to pay a new tax, but it's not much. Anyway, but it's cheaper to transfer a title from, I will be visiting Rwanda soon. It's cheaper to transfer a title that already exists into your names. It could cost you less than 200, 500K altogether. But to create a new title where there was no title, it's very expensive. It can cost you between 2 million to 2.5. That is the price to transfer, to create a title, the first title, knowing that you only had an agreement, but now you have a title. That's a bit more expensive, but it should be 2 million, not more than 2 million. Okay, no more than 2.5 if someone is really a thief, a good thief anyway. Okay, what was this? 14th. Then the other thing about freehold land that you should know, there are no issues really, as long as you're able to understand and reach out to the rightful owner. The rightful owner is the person whose name is on the deed. It doesn't matter if they are children of the person whose name is on the deed, and if the person died and left a will saying that I've willed this land to Doreen, Doreen should have that will. And to show you, so they should sell to you this land with a photocopy of a will that shows that this person is the rightful seller. Because you have issues whereby someone can own a huge pieces of land, then reaching a point of selling it, the people who are selling to you are not the rightful sellers. They're saying Fetwali bana ba mugenzi, and you are buying land. And then the other relatives will now pop up and say, no. This person was not supposed to sell that land. Maybe the person changed their mind at the last minute and gave a new heir or something like that. So you must have a copy of a legal will that shows that this person the land was willed to them. To avoid those family wrangles as you buy land. You can't avoid them. I mean, you can try. But there are so many issues with land like that. Now we finished the freehold. Now this is the most interesting one. The next one is where most of you have been asking me a lot of questions. The leasehold land. Leasehold land is, the word lease is to borrow or to rent. You can be loaned or borrow. No, not loaned. You can rent or temporary borrowing. But in Uganda, legally, you can lease land legally, and it is yours, and you are responsible for it for only 99 years. Some say 100, but no, 99 years. So, which means most of our investors are using this. What happens is this: you find someone who owns land. It can be any type of land. You can lease any type of land. You can lease Kabaka land, you can lease freehold land, you can lease private Milo land. You can lease the indigenous, sorry, the customary land. You can lease it as well. I'll explain to you customary type of land. But to lease land, it means that you are, how do you say? You are renting a piece of land for a certain period of time. What happens is that someone can say, for me, I'll rent you my land for 10 years, for 30 years, for 50 years. So if you are coming as a foreigner, but leases can be renewed. The only thing is, when you're going to lease type of land, make sure it is fully and completely legal, especially if you are going to use it for something like company space, or you're building apartments or something like that. Make sure it is legal. There has to be legal documents, legal paperwork. It has to be fully legal. Why? You can lease land from somebody and they pass away. And then these people who are coming on, they turn on you. They say, no, we don't want you here anymore. The person who brought you here is dead. For us, we want to use the land for something else, or we want to sell. What happens is, usually you can have an understanding with someone, because to get residency or citizenship in Uganda shouldn't take you more than 5 years. You can lease land with intent to buy and own. But this you can't do in your heart. You have to talk to the person and tell them, I want to buy this land, but I want to first rent it for this period of time while I work on my paperwork. When I am fully able, or I'm a legal citizen of the country, because if you are not a citizen of Uganda, you cannot own land. You cannot own land. So you can lease land or rent land with intent to purchase it. Does it make sense? So you can talk to someone and tell them you want to buy the land. Make sure this is legally documented. Right? Oh, 443. So sit with them. You can pay, but only pay for the lease time. And do not make any construction on that land if you've not purchased it, because in 5 years, the person can change their mind. The person can say, I am okay with leasing you for 5 years, but I don't want to sell it. Why? Property margin or the property prices might go up, and the person is like, they feel like you're robbing them. At that point in 5 years, their area could develop. And then they're like, oh no, I'm selling to you at 20 M per acre, but I can sell for 30 M in 5 years per acre. They can change their mind, and then they can try to hustle you. So make sure you don't do any constructive work on there. Just do basic work. You can farm, you can have a farm that can be moved, can put cattle on there, anything really. But don't construct. Don't construct, don't do anything permanent on that land until you have your residency. But if your intent is to simply rent the land, then make sure you are renting for a long period of time. Make sure if you're going to build a company, this person you have to find a way of convincing them to lease that land to you for over 30 years. Yes, 30 years is enough time for you to make your money back, to find residency, and probably even purchase the land. Or it's enough time, because if someone is leasing land to you for that long, half the time they just get tired of waiting. And if you're willing to offer money to them, they will take it. 20 years, 30 years now. You can even just lease it for 30 years, build your own house, and then if you die, some of you don't even have family here. If you die, you would be cool because you have your money's worth or something. I don't know if it makes sense. So that is lease, the lease land, right? The lease land. And yes, this is actually acceptable because if you look at the Land Act of 1998, what is that, section 40 of subsection 2 or something, you are allowed, foreigners are allowed to lease land, to get lease to land. So that is the act that will protect you when you are fighting. Africana wants to buy marbles. I want to shoot a video on marbles, the updated prices of marbles. Are we talking about the same thing? Yeah, but as soon as my camera is fixed, I'm going to do that. They are actually working on it. So now the last type of land is going to be that no. Should I talk about that one? How should I phrase this? Yeah, Africano, if you marry a Ugandan woman, you will instantly get citizenship. Instantly. The only problem with marrying is unless you have a legal agreement that this person cannot take your property. But if you do marry a Ugandan and you use her to get your citizenship, when you split, she is going to take half of what you own. Especially she'll take half of everything you purchased when you were with her. Yeah. Because the law somehow tries to protect men and women from different backgrounds, really. If you have kids, then you can find a way of negotiating. But half the time, if you're going to a marriage or relationship, you have to have intent. You have to have a plan. You must have aim. Don't just get into relationships just to get into them. I think you should have a plan. You should know that I'm marrying this chick just to get my residency. So you have to wait until you get your residency and then settle in and fully get approved. Maybe you can split after that because the law does not say that you can't split. You can split and then you can buy your stuff. It is quicker. In every country. Marriage is the quickest way to citizenship. Yeah, it's not discriminative for Uganda. It's the same. I see a lot of people using Ugandan girls here. Many, very many, especially the Asians it's now a hobby of theirs. There are very many. Now, let's talk about the customary land. We have customary land. Yes, Ugandan women are actually very beautiful. They do have beautiful bodies too. Like, you can be standing somewhere and you stare for a moment in the road and you see every chick, even one that looks ashy, she's still beautiful. She still looks good. So yeah. Ugandan women are very beautiful. That's the truth, and they're very natural. Of course, we have a few that's not really natural, but the majority is really, really natural. So I was still discussing and teaching you about the customary land. Customary land is old land, old land. You remember when I told you that when colonialists came and then gave out some land, what? Our own land, they gave us our own land. You can imagine the disrespect, man. It was too much. Anyway, there are people who have owned land from time immemorial for years and generations. They said this tribe lives here. For example, the central Uganda majority, actually, typically it is Baganda in the central. And then in the west, we have the Banyankole. Then we have different types of west. Then in the east, we have. So if you can find a group of people, let's say in Jinja, a family, you can find a family there that is old ties, and they tell you that this is all our land. They don't have titles. They don't have anything to show that this is the land, but they've lived on that land for generations and generations now. They own that land. They own it because none of you even knows how long ago this land was, because what could be uniting them is the language, maybe blood, maybe the tribe or something. So that is customary land. Usually it belongs to an indigenous group of people, but it's tribal. The way the people in the Akaramajongs in the north, or they on the border, the way they were fighting tooth and nail when they were trying to take their land or take the gold out of their land. Yeah, because they don't, I don't think they have titles to that land, but because they've owned that land for generations, it's indigenously theirs. It's theirs. So they can easily tell this is our land and you can't do anything about it. Though you can't buy indigenous land. They can sell it to you, but try to avoid it, because someone else can come and claim ownership of that land if you're not careful. So be careful when it comes to indigenous type of land. So like I said, we've discussed 4 types of land. We have the Milo land. Under Milo land, we have the Kabaka land and then the private Milo land. I've told you how that came to happen. You want me to go into federal, that whole story of federal? All this is politics, really. All land is just politics. So we have the Milo land, and then we have the freehold land, and then we have the leasehold land, and then we have the customary land. Those are the 4 types of land that is actually recognized in this country, and everyone has the opportunity to own. But usually what I know, if you have a private Milo land, if you want to make it titled land, you need to have at least 50, over 50 by 100, or 50 by 50. It has to be bigger than 50 by 50. Actually, there are certain sizes of land that the government is banning, and they no longer want to recognize them. Yeah, I think the smallest one they're recognizing now is 25 by 50, that 25 decimals. So if you're buying anything less than 25 by 50, you really don't have land. The way anyone should be giving you a title, an agreement at all, because it's not recognized by the government anymore. Anything smaller than 25, I think. Because I've seen 25, and even I think 25 is small, because the biggest house you can fit on a 25 by 50 is a 2-bedroom house, but barely any compound. And even then, that is like squeezing. You're building at 3 meters, 3 by 3 or 2 by 3. Ish, that's small. But what can we do? Sometimes the finances let us down. And yeah. Then I was also going to tell you the locations where you can get land for as cheap as 1 million, but you have to be willing to really go very, very far. Some of these locations, I would advise you only buying that land for holding, maybe to use for farming, and because the rate at which the country is developing is really high. So if you bought land far out like that, because some of these places, I'm sure you can even get it at 800,000 shillings, or 500,000 shillings, you can get land in this country, but you have to be willing to go very far, very far. That's number 1. Number 2, you can hold it and use it for farming and wait for development to come to you, because land is one of those things that progresses. It keeps growing in value. So it's really up to you. So me, I don't think there can be anyone saying that it was a bad buy. Like if you buy land, it can never be a bad buy anywhere. Because where you were when you were a child, for some of us who grew up in villages, now those villages are no longer villages. They don't look the way they used to look when we were young, And we were young just recently, All I'm saying is that there is no such thing as a bad buy when it comes to land. A bad buy can only be bad if you were scammed or sold land that doesn't exist or doesn't belong to you. So you have to be very quick when you buy land, even if it's Kabaka land. Hurry, go to the land board and make sure you're the recognized owner of that land. Then you have to go ahead, and if you bought titled land or freehold land, make sure you change the title immediately. Don't wait, because this person can use that opportunity to sell the land again to somebody else. The problem with some of you, you're too slow, and you want people to keep reminding you. Because some of you, it's the reason you lose your property is really your fault. No offense. You're very, very slow. You buy land today, it's titled land or freehold land, and then you want to wait years to transfer the title. Really, by the time you got the money to pay over 10, 15, 30, 40 million, 50 million, you don't have the time to spend 500K or less than that to actually transfer the title into your names. You think just because you're holding the original deed from this person, that's enough. It's not enough. Because there is also this thing where someone can go to the land board and report their title stolen. Someone can report their title stolen, yes, and then they can make for them a new title. They pay to be given a new title. So you can be there holding your title. As long as this person goes and they are in the land board, the title or the land is in their names, you've not transferred it. This person can draft a new title. They'll be willing to spend the amount of money, get a new title drafted quickly, and then they sell to somebody else. And then that person, hi, the real big splurge, hi. And that person whom they've sold to the land can be there and they are faster than you and they transfer the title. I need to read this question slowly. Huh? Listen, David. Ofunye mucho.
Just age 13.
More file. But this person has been here for a long time. This person can't be 13 up to now. Omanga, this is 2015. Omuntu wa 10 years mu 2015 kati aba ine emyaka emeka. Oshegedde. Ale, it's okay. Okay, I was still telling you. Okay, let me answer this question. Hi, thanks for the information. I have a question on the lease land. How do you transfer to freehold? Freehold, like we said, freehold is the titled land, like private owned land, not private mile, private titled owned land. So you want to know how you can transfer from what? How you can transfer freehold from what? I need to know. Lease land to freehold. Even freehold land can be leased. Not just Kabaka land can be leased. Any type of land can be leased. So you need to explain a bit on that. Lease land, any land can be leased. So which land are you trying to transfer to freehold? Is it the Kabaka land? I told you Kabaka land cannot be owned. It cannot be neokolota. You can only have a title and also be recognized by the Buganda Land Board as the current owner by taking those photos there of yours and the previous owner so that you are certified. And then you pay the tax or the busulu. You choose how you pay, but you cannot own. Guys, you're misunderstanding me. Let me first read your second question. Second, is the district or town able to give lease to, then after allowed to give free land? There is another type of land that is not common. I don't mention it because no one really gets it except unless the government chooses to give it. It's public land or government-owned land. This was all politics from the agreement, the 1900 Buganda agreement. Now, if a government body gives you land, that is public land. It is the land they use to build things like hospitals. The way you hear government hospital, most of those things are built on public land. But this land, the government also gives out this land to investors. That's why if you're an investor and you have big money, go to the government. They'll give you land and then you do your investment. Now, what you're asking me is the district has no right to give you somebody's land or to lease it to you. The district will only lease to you land that belongs to the district. if you want to lease a piece of land, you have to go to the owner of the land and lease it. If you want to transfer that land to freehold, right? That is private Milo land. It can be transferred, but they give you what they call a leasehold title. That one is really not permanent. It's like an outright transfer. How do I put this one? The land can be transferred to you, but being that it's leased, you can't fully own it. How do you make that land yours? If you go to lease it with intent to own it, you have to talk to the owner. Don't be changing your mind when this person was only leasing you land. But if this person was leasing you land and you want to simply get this person to lease you land, these are the problems we are having. And you people who are leasing to people land, be very, very careful, because there are people come to rob you. Someone comes with intent to lease in front of you, but their back intent is to actually own this land. When you reach ahead and you refuse to actually sell to them this land, they turn on you. Yes, they turn on you. So when you are getting someone to lease land to you, make sure your intents are clear. Tell them, I want to buy this land. If the person says, I'm not selling, then ask them, can I lease the land? The other thing, if you're a landowner, don't lease land for a long time to someone. It is going to be very hard for you to convince that person to leave. What you can do is you can lease land to them for a short period of time, but renewable. You can tell them, you pay me for 2 years or 3 years, and then when you finish the 2 years, I'll see if I want you here. 2 years is a short time. But if you give someone 5-10 years, it is going to be very hard for you to convince that person to leave. The person will plant things like plantains that keep regrowing year after year. They'll start planting things that can't be removed, sugar canes. Now, the time for you to chase them away it will be very hard for you. So you people who are going to get land leased, you cannot transform someone's land to freehold if they've not given it to you, if they're not willing to sell. But all this can be done. Any other type of land can be titled. You can transfer it into a title. The difference is only Kabaka land can't be titled. By the way, don't be lied to. I had someone there lying to some people in Saudi Arabia. Title. You guys, be careful. They will give you what they call a leasehold title. It's not a title. It's not an actual title, though it further confirms that you are the owner, but it's not a title. Kabaka land can't be owned. Nzembabulira. You can try. What some people would do is to go and make some paperwork for you. What they get, the land will still be used, but it will not be titled. If Kabaka land could be titled and owned, trust me, they would not be Kabaka land to date. Because these things are very long ago. These things are of 1990, I think. Sorry, 1900. So if in 1900 we are in 2023, and there is still Kabaka land, it has to tell you something. It has to, because even in the middle of Kampala, we still have Kabaka land. The government has tried to take it and failed. So who are you? Kabaka land cannot be owned. So don't allow anyone to lie to you that Kabaka to call it. Please be very careful. You can do these things yourself. Get photos, go to the Buganda Land Board and confirm that you are the current owner. Simple. Pay the taxes and move on. No one is going to chase you from that land. Nobody. Your kids can be there. Your great-great-great-great-grandkids can be on that land, on that Kabaka land. Contrary to the misconception we have that Kabaka land can be taken. No, no one can take it. Nobody. But it can be taken if you've not gone to confirm that you are the current owner. Any land can be taken, but you have to be very vigilant as you buy land. It is a tricky, tricky, tricky world in the land industry. Now, back to your question. The government can give you land, the district can give you land, but what type of land? You can find that they are giving you maybe those swamps that are unoccupied. And they say that this swamp doesn't belong to anybody. But these days it's very hard to even find a swamp that has no owner. But they are there. Or you can find that someone will tell you that Swamp is part of our family land. It's been in our family for generations, and that's what we call customary land. What are you going to do? But someone can be sneaky and they steal that land and then they title it because it's not appearing in the Kabaka land. So it can be titled. Someone can use that chance to title it. No one is going to title your land if it's appearing somewhere that is not supposed to appear. The moment they don't have it in their system, they don't, because this land is in, they have systems. They know where every piece of land is, by the way. They're just not coming after you to demand you for taxes. But they used to do this back in the day when, I don't know, years ago, whereby they would go and collect the taxes, the land taxes by force. You know, the way the KCC comes and collects taxes from you people, from your businesses. Because now they know where every business is. Because the moment you register your business like that, they know where to find you. So they will come, they'll know we have to go and make a stop here, make a stop here, make a stop here. But if you don't go ahead, I'm not asking you to not register your stuff. So this is something with land. Customary land and private milo land and freehold land. Freehold land, some of it was once customary land. Yes, you can find that some of the freehold was once private milo land. And then they made it titled. That's why you can find someone who said the Kabaka land passes here. After here, taka lyabachi lyabalangira n'abambeja, or something like that, or abakungu, or some stuff like that. About Western Uganda, in Western Uganda, most of your land is not titled. Because one thing I've come to realize that most of you just have a few agreements here and there. Yeah. Oh, my battery is running. So you've had land for 40 plus years in your family that's been leased to you. I need to understand. Did your family lease land to someone for 40 plus years? If your family did, do they have the paperwork to prove that, or it was word of mouth? You people avoid word of mouth in business, in land issues, stuff like that. Avoid word of mouth. If this person has been on your land for over 40 years and they don't have any documentation to prove that your family or whoever they say gave them, chase them, they are going to become a very big problem for you in the future. Find a way to draw those boundaries and make them move. If you don't want them to move, then ask them to buy that land. So they leased to your family. Do you have the paperwork to prove that they leased to you that land? Because there are things they give you. Legally, you should have a leasehold title. You should have some documentation to prove that they leased to you this land and for how long. And if this land is still being leased, it's going to be a big problem for you in the future. Find money and buy that land permanently from these people. So if you've been on that land for 40 plus years, we are coming into a generation that is very greedy, that is dangerous, that is unpredictable. Have you noticed that these days, every time an old person dies and they leave land behind, they're just selling it? Not just an old person, parents, they're giving kids land, they are just selling. What happens if they discover that this land that your family has been on for 40 years is not yours, it's theirs? What happens? And this is a new generation that's coming that's dangerous. So either try to find paperwork to prove that you are leased the land to, or try to officially purchase this land from these people. And then you can draft the paperwork then. I'm sure since you've been there for a long time, they'll be generous while they sell to you, you know. You bring it casually, like a casual conversation, like, guys, I was suggesting, can we find common ground and we buy this land from you permanently? because someone leasing to you for 40 plus years a long time. But to be on a safe side, because generations change and every generation comes different, you cannot put your family's livelihood in the balance like that. You have to find a way of buying this land permanently. I don't know how you do it, or you get them to gift you the land officially, because land can be gifted. And then you can now document and say the land has been gifted to us. These things are easy. Sit down and draft something. Make sure there are people present, the chairman is present, and then have some signatures of you, the person who has gifted you the land, Never allow to have land hang in balance, because it can swing either way. It may not even be that family, but someone strange might find out that this land was leased and there is no paperwork, and they come and start forging stuff. This country is very dangerous when it comes to land. I've seen people kill themselves, kill people, kill other people. Be very careful. So if you have a piece of land in your family and you can't explain it, find an explanation, and then make sure that explanation can stand in court. You cannot put anybody, and I mean anybody, as a responsibility for your failure to acquire ownership of something that you think is yours when it's not really yours. What else? I think that's it. Do I have to tell you anything about land? I don't discuss land much often, but I think a lot of you are having serious issues. You're having very, very big problems. People are lying to you. Some people are convincing you. We have locations in this country right now that are skyrocketing in the market-wise, So, but as you buy, understand what you're buying. Now, another thing that I have to tell you, if you are buying Kabaka land, it should be very cheap. Kabaka land is always cheap. If you're looking to build your rentals, something like, just buy Kabaka land, because it will take years for it to have issues. But most of the Kabaka land that is present now has many issues. Either they are slums, or water, lots of water issues, or swamps. So be careful on that. The only type of land that is actually really expensive is the freehold land. When you find someone with already a title, that's why when they are selling, they are proud. They're proud. They're very proud. They're arrogant about it. I have a title. It is nature. So they always price themselves the way they want because of that title. Because it's not a lot of titled land out here. That's the truth. It's there, but it's not too much. Most people are just transforming the titles. Okay, so I'm going to end this video on an interesting note. The month is ending in 2 days or 3 days. Let me see. Where is the calendar? Today is the 27th. The month is ending in 4 days. Wow, I was panicking for nothing. The month is ending on Sunday, at least in Uganda. We are going into December, and I'm happy to go to December with you. We've been waiting for December. I am doing that charity with or without you. I told you. I don't know how to, those things of begging, softening my voice, trying to convince you. I'm sorry, it's not my nature. But I will appeal to your inner person. I'm going to put a poster up and see. We're going to vote together and see how many families we should feed for Christmas this year. Last year, I spent too much money. I think, considering the concept came late, food was too expensive. I hadn't pre-booked food in the gardens. I do some charities on my own, but this one I document. If you go through my old videos, you'll see. So what happens is I document everyone that donates. I document and say, I don't know, B price donated, I don't know, 100,000 shillings. And then when I'm giving out food, I'll tell you, every single one of you, I have a journal. I tell you, be price, this is the family you fed, and you fed them with this and this and this and that. And then I'll say, so and so, this you fed these families, all this and this and that. So I'm trying to book plantains in a garden. I have a couple people who own farms, plantain farms in Kayunga, deep in Kayunga. So I have to go and book those plantains while they are still maturing. So that, anyway, when you're a farmer, you can know when this will be ready for harvest. So you book, because food becomes very, very scarce by 15th. No, that's too far. By 10th there is no food. That's why when it comes out, it's too expensive. Yeah, you can send to my number, the one I use for my business, which is, let me write it, but it's also in the description of the channel below. That is +256 70, hold on, +256 70 +256 779024 This is the same number that I use for my business. It's the same number on my YouTube. It's been there for a while. You can check in the description below of my channel. You'll find it there. When you send, please, please, please leave your name for me behind, because I have to make a list and then I have to move. So I'm trying to book that food by 8th, especially the plantains. For those who want to donate hard food, you will have to donate it on the 22nd, yes, of December. And then you have to bring it for me in Nagalama, because the family we are feeding is a small village, a village in Nagalama, deep inside. Very many old people, so you have to bring it there. I'm sorry, I'm not going to incur transport costs. Like, I'm incurring transport costs to go to Kayunga and pick plantains. I'm incurring all the other transport costs, but I'm not incurring transport costs to pick food from you. If you want to donate, kindly send it to Nagalama. Anyway, if you're ready, you can ask me where to put it in Nagalama, and we shall shoot. I'll be putting up a couple of videos. So I'll keep track. Together we shall keep track. I want to feed, last year I wanted to feed 50 families. Last year drained me. It drained me. But you missed it. Okay, this is the number, +256. Okay, that is the code for Uganda, +256. Then the actual contact is 77902424. My names are Doreen Nambi, Queen of Uganda. So those are the names in which the contact is Nambi Doreen or Doreen Nambi, whichever order is correct. So by 77902424. Don't forget to put the Ugandan code is +256. The number is the same number you've all been calling me for consultations and then for business. It's the same number. So join me as we once again do the one charity we do a year. Next year, if everything goes well, I don't know, we can continue helping out more. But I always say this, I'm not a rich woman, but I'm always willing to share the little I have. I work very hard. So let's do that for this year. Next year, we'll see. If my income increases, I can do more. Together, we can do more. But for now, I don't want to ask you to do something I can't do alone. So this year, I'm hoping we can't feed more than 100 people. Anyway, it depends. But I'll be doing a live on Thursday and giving you a budget of how much money we need to raise this year. But this time, I need to get those plantains. I over-suffered. Last year, you can find those videos. The Bananga, I suffered. I went into forests. I went very far, very far. I went to a place where people sleep by 4, 5 people closing their houses. You can imagine how terrified I was. And that's where I ended up finding plantains. It was far. But the people are so nice. They protected me. they they helped me. Sometimes, by the way, when we shoot this, we don't really tell you everything that we go through. But that time, that year, that last December was crazy. Do you know what it means? Because there are night dancers in the area. Me, I didn't know. I ended up in this location which has night dancers, many. So failure to live during day, you could become someone's food. And someone kept saying, Sigwari nechisambye chineni, bagenda okuchiwomera. I was like, what the hell? Imagine someone looking at your body and thinking, if I was a cannibal, I'll start from the thighs. My battery is very low. So anyway, this year, please, let's try. I know it's not easy, and this has been a rough year for all of us. But I promise there is nothing we can't do together. That's why I choose to do this with you guys. So thank you for watching DOREEN'S African Experiences. I hope we learned something. I should be giving you, I have so much content to shoot. You guys don't know. Usually I always do something like when the year is starting, I'm always shooting so much content, so much. But we are going to have a lot of content going forward. I already have content. It's just my camera broke. I have to fix the lens. I have to fix the glass. Next year, maybe Feb, I'll buy myself a new camera. I will. I should be getting some kind of gratuity pay from my work. It's going to be better. It's going to be a better year. But we have to feed these people. You have to feed some of these people with me. It's a good feeling. It is. I hit the 25th broke. I was so broke on Christmas because I had spent the previous days giving out food everywhere. And actually, I ended up giving food to people I didn't even document, because when some people heard that I was giving out food, they came running and looking for me. Oh, we also don't have food. We also don't have food. We don't have what to eat. Oh, we don't have this. And then I felt so bad. So whatever money I had kept aside for myself to enjoy, I ended up using it to buy extra food. Nambi is really simple. My last name is Nambi. That's Nambi. Doreen is really my channel, and Nambi is Nambi. Nambi. I've also been told people in Namibia, people in Namibia also name that name. I didn't know. Sometimes these African names are not as unique as we want them to be. But yeah, it's actually quite interesting. Every African culture has their own story. So yeah, can't wait to do that. It always makes me so happy. Buying chickens, I buy beef, I buy vegetables. Oh, my friends who grow vegetables, I have to book ahead of time. They sell in trucks, you can imagine. So I have to book them. Food in December is for booking, by the way, to avoid paying those exorbitant prices. Like you can end up buying one bunch of plantains at 70,000 shillings. That's too much. When if you book it in the garden, you can buy it at 35 to 40. If you're booking it in the garden, a huge one, 35,000 to 40. But during that period, that thing can go up to 70. Even in Kampala, they were buying them at 100. Whew. Last Christmas was horrible. Food-wise, it was horrible. I remember waiting in the market for food to come. People were sending food to Kampala. But guys, thank you for making it to the end of November. November has been the worst month for me. It's been so hard. It's been challenging. I've achieved so much, but I've also been challenged heavily. Guys, let me charge my phone and go home. Maybe go to the gym today. Paris has donated. That's a donation, right? Hold on. Whoa. Okay. Paris has donated 373,000 shillings. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Hold on, let me note down. Mr. Price, 373,000 shillings. 373, yeah, 373,500. So we have our first donation. This is crazy. We've not even joined the month yet. Wow, that is enough to buy the vegetables. You have bought the vegetables for 100 people. I confirm I've received the money, Mr. Price. Mr. Price, I will not be putting the vegetables on the what? I'll not be putting the vegetables on the plan we have for food, because you have purchased vegetables for 100 people, well, 100 families. Remember, in Uganda we have extended families, so one family can have about 10 people. Yeah, that's why I buy the huge plantains. So Mr. Price has single-handedly bought, wow, vegetables for 100 families. That's crazy. Because if everyone is getting, yeah, they've been counting for me, the people, only one, the family with the least number of people has three. And some are expecting that some people will go there for holidays. But the smallest family has 3 people that I have in documentation. So thank you so much for your generous donation. Wow. I can't believe I'm doing this. We are doing the charity, guys. It's official. It's quite official. Thank you so much. Dang. Mr. Price. Mr. B. Price. Okay. That same number that I've given all of you is the number I use for my WhatsApp for business. So if you need any advice, if you need any help, you can use that same number to reach out to me. Those who have reached out to me, I'm sure you're not complaining. Those who gave me work, I've delivered to every single one of you as I speak. We should be good. Yes. And I hope you look forward to watching the video, because I'll be shooting those videos. I'll be shooting a couple of those videos. And thank you, actually. I'm so happy. Now, let me not be happy and tear in the camera, because, wow. I was already worried because I've been scrounging to collect money on my own. Sometimes, you can put up a charity and people don't donate, but you have to go through with it, because for me, I do something when I want in my heart. So I have to go through with it, whether people donate or not. So I was already scrounging so much. I've been saving up and stuff. But thank you. It's a pleasure to have followers that actually care about other people. Let me charge my phone. I'm actually on 1%. So if you need me to talk to me business-wise, please use that same number to reach out to me. Have yourselves a wonderful week. It's Monday. I hope you have a blessed week, and may it be fruitful. Okay? Bye.